All right, y'all. So our next word this morning is about content and creativity, and not from the angle that y'all would probably assume that I would be giving it. So some, and I've talked about this in another video, some of us are called to share on platforms, social media, whatever. Some of us are called to write books. Some of us are called to do music. Some of us are called to do artwork. Some of us are called into fashion. God can call his children into any area. And so in the previous video, when I said, like, I have a video for my creatives next, and, spoiler alert, it's all of God's children. As children of the Creator, it is in you to create. Your purpose is to create. Okay, even going back to the first command, be fruitful and multiply. We know that that's creating, like physical children, but we do that spiritually as well. And let me go ahead and throw this in there too, because I realized that the things that I listed, the Holy Spirit just corrected me, the things that I listed were really only the things that we would think of as creative. Hear me out. You can be called into your career and stuff as well. You can be called into engineering. You can be called into project management. You can be called into logistics. You can be called into construction. You can be called into whatever it is, education, your career. Like, I can't sit up here and list out all these things, but wherever it is, you know where God has planted you. And as his child, your purpose is to create, whether it is a process, an idea, an invention, art, whatever it is, that is your purpose. Okay, so Meg, why are we even talking about this today? We're talking about this today because in me getting back on social media, because like I keep saying, I know where my seat is at, I just don't want to sit in it sometimes, okay? But there has been this fear, which goes back to this other word, and this overwhelmingness of getting back on social media. My ear just popped, so I know we had some breakthrough even for myself. I think me publicly admitted that was something. But this morning when I knew, like, okay, this is what you want me to talk about today, he was like, you don't have to worry about content. And I was like, He was like, you don't have to worry about content, because I only been back on social media for like a week, and it's like, oh gosh, like, what am I doing? Why don't I have to worry about content? You don't have to worry about content as long, so this is important, when you are tapped in to God's Holy Spirit, that same creative energy, because again, he is the creator, it flows in you effortlessly. Now, you might have things going on that's blocking it. When I was in the wrong relationships, I was not creative. When I wasn't taking the time to spend time with God, I was not this creative. Do y'all get what I'm saying? And somebody even said that to me a few weeks ago, like, your creative juices are just flowing. They are, but that's because, like, all I literally do is spend time with God, and he is the creator. He is the definition of creating. Like, let's not go back to Genesis, okay? The story of creation. Again, it's not just for the things that people would assume are what is creative. This ain't just extending to what I do on the side or to my calling, the creativity, the divine strategy and stuff that he's giving me that you can only get from God. This extends to my work life, coming up with new processes and ideas and implementing new things like, okay, how can we do this better? It extends to everything, okay? So you don't have to worry about content. You don't have to worry about ideas. You're innately, help me, Holy Spirit, innovative. Wherever you are, with whatever you do, and don't think it like women who struggle with, like, I don't know my purpose, all this, because you're in the house. I don't know who that's for, because that definitely just came to mind, and I ain't in no house taking care of kids or nothing. You are creating in that house. Same for men, like your first ministry, your family, your household. You create even in that. So don't think it has to be like you have to do this big art piece or something like that. Like, no. Another thing, some of y'all are depressed because you're not creating. That was me, okay? My good sis, my best friend, told me, her dad told her that. And when she said it, I was like, well, that explains some years of my life after college. You're depressed because you're not creating. You're not creating because you're not where you need to be with God. Like, let's start there. Look, we're going to go back to that. But that will cause depression in you, where you're just sitting around going through life. I didn't stop struggling with depression for the biggest two reasons. Getting out of the wrong relationship, which hindered all creativity, okay? Well, you won't create nothing over here, okay? And then getting back in the right place with God, which generated my creative flow again. Depression, gone. Like, that's how I was depressed? Yes, you are made in the image of your Father. He said, let us make man in our image. He is the creator. You supposed to be out here creating, okay? So stay tapped in, and you don't have to worry about content, and he gonna let it flow in everything that you do. I have have a word that is good ideas versus God ideas, because that's something else. Like, you can be spending time with him, you can be coming up with all these good ideas, but you have to consult him with the timing, with, is this exactly how you want to do this? Y'all know I've been trying to do YouTube. YouTube didn't happen, so I started doing prophetic words. Okay? Because you had some of the idea, but that ain't 100% what I was telling you to do with YouTube. Okay? So I just really wanted to share that with y'all, because a part of my calling, a part of my creativity, he allows me to be creative in sharing my testimony. He allows me to be on platforms to share my testimony. Okay? And so he allows me to do it in creative ways. So the last thing, do you be you. He ain't finna bless you and you trying to be creative and not yourself. You trying to be somebody else's creative. That's not how that works. Okay? You got to be authentically you, so he can give you the things that are going to carve out your authentic path in this life. Okay? So I love y'all. Be blessed. Stay tapped in, and you won't have to worry about content or creativity.